My name is Juan Mercant. I'm from Uruguay and I want to show you my Capstone project called Payroll Assistant. As an employee, have you ever asked if the calculations made in your payslip were calculated correctly? Have doubts about the concepts that compose a payslip? I will share something that happened to me on my previous work here in Uruguay. I worked as a payroll administrative. Frequently, we received many calls from employees with questions about their payslips. Most of these questions were easy to respond. For this project, I created a payroll assistant. The assistant is an AI RAG that uses a vectorized database that contains all the accounting business model. Using Gemini LLM, it can interact with the employees through the chat session. In fact, what the assistant can do: explain the payslip composition, answer questions about the payslip components, explain the calculation formulas for the components of a payroll if a payslip, and check if the amount of a payslip were calculated according to the business rule. For this project, for this project, I used a detailed business model document. This was one of the most important tasks that I made. Define all the business rules is important to cover all the scenarios and give to the model all the detailed instructions to understand the calculations. Then I created a Chroma database vector with an embedded model. There I added all the defined documents. I used structured outputs by using a JSON model that was parsed to a personalized Python class. And also, I defined a few examples to a few shot prompting. It gives to the model instructions to create the expected response. Now I will demonstrate the chat assistant in action. We will start with a basic question. What is a wage? As you can see, the structure response follows the class structure that I defined above. This is an expected explanation of a wage and the identified cause. Let's do another question. A legal deduction can be identified with a code that begins with a code for you. No, legal deductions are identified by codes 80 and 50. The answer is correct because the deductions are identified with the mentioned codes. Okay, let's do another question. Even we can make a question about the general context. In Uruguay, what means the FONASA deduction? And here's an explanation of the FONASA deduction and the calculation rules. Let's do the final question. I have a pay slip with a FONASA 3% error calculation. The amount is 2,400 and the expected value is 2,320. I have doubts about the FONASA 3% code calculation. Can you tell me if it was calculated correctly? I will share my pay slip in JSON format. I will select my payslip and then I will paste it into the input text. Let's analyze the response. If the total wage are 80,000 and we have a fine of 2,667, the total FONAS amount must be calculated based on 77,333. Therefore, the FONAS at 3% amount should be 2,320. There is a difference, and there is the the response of the assistant. Please contact a payroll administrator to determine the cause of the discrepancy. This is correct. In fact, this was a preliminary project and also it can be improved. Thanks for the watching and having a good day. Thank you.